Hi, thanks for joining me. Today, I'd like to talk about how heavy dirt is and how heavy rocks are. I'll explain why in a minute. You've probably noticed on my channel that I like talking about random stuff, but I think it's random stuff that's important to me. And so I've noticed with like social media, videos, pictures, stuff like that, people like doing funny, silly things for the camera, which is fine. But it's really unwise to do funny, silly things and what are really foolish things that involve rocks and dirt. And I'll explain what I'm talking about. People enjoy going to the canyon or a cave or something like that, and they'll go stand on the end of a rock ledge or an overhang, or they'll go underneath the overhang, or maybe there's a rock here, the side of the mountain or whatever's over here, and then there's a rock here and then a rock here, and it kind of makes a little tunnel, and then people feel the need to walk through the tunnel. And I totally understand that stuff like that can give a feeling of excitement, or people, maybe it'll get likes on social media, but not only can that stuff kill you, people have been dying doing stuff like this. How many people have to die for the people that are still alive to go, not worth it? You know, everybody makes their own decision about whether they're going to do something like that. I'm not going to tell you to do it or don't do it, but I would encourage you to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it? For me, it's not worth it. Not even close. And I didn't really think about this type of thing as much before until I started working with dirt. I have a big tractor, it's like, I don't remember, 11,000 pounds or something like that. And when I started picking up dirt and working with dirt, my tractor will pick up about 2,600 pounds of dirt in the front. The bucket that picks it up weighs 940 pounds or something like that. And dirt is insanely heavy. Whether it's loose, fluffy dirt, wet dirt is even heavier. Sand is even heavier than dirt. It's been my experience. And concrete is heavier than dirt and sand. And rocks are ultra heavy. And I just see people doing stuff like that. And someone may have the argument of, oh, well, I don't mind, if I die doing something like that, whatever, YOLO. What if you just get paralyzed? They made a movie about a rock shifting situation. I think it was called 127 Hours or something like that, where a guy was just out climbing in the canyon and a rock fell and pinned his arm, and he ended up having to cut his arm, part of it, away so that he could get free, because nobody was going to come out there, getting dehydrated. You can only scream for help for so long, and if nobody knows you're there, you'll still be there. If you don't handle that situation, you'll just be dead, and somebody will find you however much later. And I don't want to be morbid, but really, is it worth it? Rocks are dangerous. If you've ever taken a course in geology, I had to take a course in geology as an undergraduate student. I didn't want to take it. I think I had to take a science of some kind, and I thought, well, whatever. Geology, fine. Maybe that'll be useful. And when I took it, it really changed my perspective of the earth, in that the earth is constantly moving, constantly, constantly moving and shifting. And I'm not just talking about canyons or anything like that. Even in the flatlands, the wind is always doing stuff. Stuff is constantly happening with the earth. Just recently, there was I guess it was an undersea volcano on around the Pacific Ocean that sent a tidal wave out everywhere. And the tidal wave was minor in some areas, but in some areas it was they said in the news that it was putting boats up onto docks, right? That's no joke. And again, it comes back to the earth is always moving. Constantly. There's always something happening. You know, they had some minor earthquakes in Oklahoma, of all places. There's always something going on with the earth, and the earth, it doesn't care. Not that it has emotions, not that I know of. Please forgive me for scraping you, earth. It's how I earn money. But the earth, it's going to do what it's going to do, right? You got Pompeii is a historical example of the earth just doing whatever. You're next to a volcano, it's going to do whatever. If a rock is going to fall, it's going to do whatever. That's why when you drive through the mountains, you'll see netting along, steel cabling. Netting sounds like it's plastic or rope. It's not. It's steel cabling, cabling mesh that'll be along the side of the road, because rocks are constantly falling. It costs a lot of money to put that mesh up there. They don't just put it up there because maybe something might happen. It happens a lot. You just don't see it because a road crew, somebody comes through there, and when the rocks fall, somebody makes a phone call, and then the cars can't get by, so the cars drive around the rock for a little while, and then somebody on the road crew or whomever comes by and gets those rocks off the road. And it's easy if you're driving by those areas to think, oh, well, those are in case rocks fall. No, rocks fall all the time. Rocks, the earth is always churning, it's always moving, shaking, breaking loose. But it's not just stuff coming down, things also get built up. There's things, I'm working on cleaning out a ditch right now where I don't know how much soil has been added over the years, but thousands and thousands of pounds. And just from minor rainfall, and it keeps happening. And so, but the earth is moving so slow sometimes that you don't really notice it. But they have mudslides in California, and you're not going to stop one of those. They have mudslides other places too. I just use that one as an example. I'm trying to refer to examples that you can look up in the news and verify yourself. And we just got people dying making social media stuff. What is that? Is it worth it? I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I would encourage people to ask themselves, is it worth it? People are doing silly, odd stuff. And the more I work with dirt and rock and gravel and sand and all of this stuff, the more I see that stuff's a lot heavier than I think it is. And I think it's a lot heavier and a lot more dangerous than people think it is. If you're in a hardware store, go to the sand section, or they have bagged concrete and rock and sand, stuff like that. Go pick up a bag of sand. It's heavy. It's heavy. If you can pick up 2 bags of sand and curl them like this, I'd like to see it. There's probably somebody who can. Most people cannot. And also, this why there's all kinds of guidelines when people are digging about how deep the pit can be. And then if the pit is so deep, and so wide, they have to put a blocker in there to protect the person who's working in it, because that stuff caves in. You can't breathe. It just, is it worth it? That's what I would encourage people to ask themselves. Is it worth it? And to me, it's not worth it. But that's what I have. That's what I've been thinking about. And I hope your day is going well. I really appreciate you joining me. Enjoy hanging out. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see people doing this kind of stuff? Standing on the edge of a cliff, standing underneath the edge of a cliff, going into a cave and risking their life for what? I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you think this video could help people to be smarter and ask themselves, maybe, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Then hit that thumbs up. Hope your day is going well, and I look forward to joining you together in the next video. Talk to you soon.